Welcome to A Word After School, the podcast giving people the chance to say what they wish they could have to one of their old high school English teachers. Me, I'm Matthew. I am a writer, podcaster, and TV researcher. And in each episode of A Word After School, I am speaking to one of the thousands of former pupils I taught in my 15-year career as a secondary school teacher in Scotland, asking them what they liked about school, what they hated, what they wish they could have changed, and whether or not knowing what a semicolon really was for has had any impact on their life whatsoever. Let's meet my lovely guest for today. Andrew, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank
Yeah.
you. I was telling you before we started recording that I've done this thing I never do, which is allow one of my cats into the room. Normally, when I'm recording a podcast, the cats have to go away, but one of them was just quite insistent today that she be involved, so she's quietly sitting here. If we hear meowing and you see a tail appearing on the screen, I sort of felt like it's on brand for English teachers and cats to be connected in some way, so I've allowed her here. Um, Right now, how far away from the school I taught you in are you geographically? Are you miles and miles away in another country? Are you not too far?
Geographically, actually not that far.
Okay.
I'm probably about a 15-minute drive, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
not
I'm in
not far
Glasgow
at all.
still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although the thing is, you did move away quite far for a while, is that right? You
Yeah,
were
so
living closer to where I am right now, I think.
after uni, I went down and did like just under a year in London, where I was working for a year. I didn't stay in the city centre. I stayed out in Maidenhead at my cousin's flat. He had a flat there, but it was dead quick to get into London. But yeah, I did a stint down in London, then came back in 2024, back up to
Okay.
Glasgow.
Okay. How was London? How did you find it?
Tough. I feel like they say it's like either for you or not for you at all. And yeah, I just didn't take to it at all. I miss Glasgow so much.
Yeah.
It's like one of my favorite cities for a lot of reasons. But yeah, it was a good experience. But I was glad to return.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. You're in a good place then. You're back where
Although
you feel you belong.
I love it. See, when I go now, I know I've like got a really good memory for like tube lines and stuff like that. So I
Mhm.
feel like a proper like knowledgeable person about the tube line when I'm traveling
You're
about.
good. You're a good tour guide to have
Yeah.
if somebody wants a wee trip to London. Excellent. Uh, right after school. Well, first of all, how many years is it since we were at the same school at the same time? When did you leave school?
2018. I'm pretty sure it was 2018.
Wow,
So that's now 8 years ago. Just it'll be
8
coming. It'll
years.
come up to 8 years because obviously we'll finish up an exam leave, which is now past. I think the
Hmm.
current term. So yeah,
Yeah, it's I know this is very cliched, but it really doesn't feel like that to me. It feels like just a couple of years ago or
yeah,
something. It's
yeah,
8 years is wild. And after school, I taught you in your last year of school, it was sixth year.
yeah.
What, I mean, I know, but for the sake of the podcast, what did you do immediately after school? Where did you go? What did you do?
I mean, I was kind of always wanting to pursue some sort of career in the kind of art design industry, but I didn't go straight into uni or art school. I needed to build up a portfolio, so I did a portfolio course in the tramway in the south
Hmm.
side of Glasgow. For people that don't
Yep.
know what that is, it's just like the old tram building, and it kind of has been turned into a art and culture centre, and they ran kind of like a private course that we went on about 6 months, and that kind of really helps you get into our art schools. They should you kind of talk to you about a lot of basics of art and design, which was really good.
Yeah.
And then from there, applied to the art school and started in September 2019 studying communication design, which is a kind of general term for like graphic design, photography, and illustration.
Yeah. I have quite a few questions to ask you about that and about
Yeah.
your path after school because there's something quite interesting about it to me. Well, several things that are interesting, but I'm going to build up to it. I'm going to get there. For now, let's dig a wee bit more into life at school for you back in the day. First of all, I want to ask about English. Obviously, I was your English teacher at one point.
Yeah,
I think you liked English. You were very, very
yeah.
good at English. What why did you enjoy it? What did you think about English as a subject in school?
I think for the most part, I did enjoy it. I mean, I took it to advanced higher, so I feel you feel like you've got to, a sense, enjoy it if you're doing it at that level.
Yeah.
I found it really challenging, though. I think I found it out of all my subjects the most challenging, but that maybe is why I enjoyed it. To be honest,
Okay.
I always did maths, and maths was always really came naturally to me. But then I think I didn't enjoy it as much. People used to think, oh, because you're good at something, you enjoy it, but
Hmm.
it kind of was the flip for me a wee bit.
Yeah. I'm sort of surprised to hear you say that actually that you found it challenging. In what way? What do you mean by that?
I don't know. It's so like the parts of English I think I did well, and this is where I did well in school in general was kind of exams and kind of following a bit of a script, and then
Hmm.
playing to it. I knew how to play to exams and do do well in that sense, and I think because when you get to English, so much it becomes like coursework, like dissertation, and then
Yeah.
you had folio work and stuff like that. That the reins are off you a wee bit, and it becomes a lot more independently driven. And I think I've not personally got the best discipline. So, yeah, I find that tough. Yeah, rather than being
Which
taught something, like you're being taught the basics and the format, but you need to
Mhm.
like really find it from within yourself.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. And it's funny to hear you say you were good at exams and you knew how to do this stuff that was kind of, I guess, maybe memorized or there was a formula to it.
Yeah,
When you're, as far as I can tell, a very creative person and a very artistic person. So
yeah,
it's interesting to have all those different elements going on. Besides English, and you said you were good at maths, but maybe you didn't particularly enjoy it. I'm imagining art would be one of your favorites. What other subjects in school did you like and have good memories of?
yeah. I mean, I also took music to advanced higher, so I do enjoy music quite a lot
Yeah,
for a lot of reasons, and quite interestingly, my favorite part of music was we did like a composing part, which in similar terms to English, you're kind of creating your own thing, you're writing some
yeah.
sort of form of story. Um, and ironically, the part I struggled with in music was the sitting the exams and stuff because there's a real pressure of performing in the moment. So I did enjoy music, but the other side, yeah, the other side of it, the kind of composing and stuff.
Yeah, music's such an interesting subject in schools, or in Scottish schools anyway. I'm sure English schools are the same. In that you have an exam where you play an instrument in a room with a human being who's like
Yeah,
listening to you. That I don't think there's any other subject in school that has that kind of element to it. And I didn't study music at school beyond like second year. So even though I love music and I played an instrument, so I didn't go through that. So that what how was that having an advanced higher?
really, really, really
What did you
intimidating.
play?
Yeah, really, really intimidating. I did. There's the thing. I kind of took music, and I was kind of told, "Oh, well, you can't really take music because you don't play an instrument." It was kind of like this is like at like in a third and fourth year stage. So I went, okay, I will go learn piano then. So I started learning piano, and because I, I had an official piano teacher, I was allowed to then take the subject.
Yeah.
Um, and I did that, and I kind of like all the other people in the class had been, for say we're doing piano, had been doing it for 10 years prior, or
Hmm.
like 8 years prior to me. It felt like a crash course in a musical instrument. So yeah, it was quite strange. But I kind of did really well, and I always remember the comments after my first exam with the teachers was, "That's really impressive how far you've kind of come in such a short period of time."
Hmm.
But it's so intimidating. Thing is, I never did like any. When you learn a musical instrument, you do like external exams and stuff,
Mm.
and you get your grades and things. I never did any of that because I was never bothered. I just wanted to do it at school. So I had no prior experience of working in front of an examiner, and that is really intimidating.
Yeah. Do you still play anything? Do you still
I
play the
I
piano
honestly
or
I honestly don't. I have a keyboard that I haven't touched in ages. I used to, when I was a kid, I used to go around to my grand's because she had a piano. So I would go around once or twice a week and practice on her piano. Um, and I believe the piano might be in the will to me at some point, but we'll just have to wait and see. But I also currently live in a top floor flat, so I don't know how on earth that's coming up the stairs. So
Mm,
yeah,
yeah,
I might just wait.
yeah. I thought you were going to say, I don't know how my neighbours would appreciate that. I mean, a piano tinkling somewhere might be quite nice. If
Yeah.
you were playing the drums, it could be a different story in a flat in Glasgow, but
Well, ironically, I actually think there's a piano teacher that lives below me. Unconfirmed, but I definitely hear the piano from time to time, so I think I get away with it.
well, there's some maybe discount lessons if you feel like going back to it and,
Yeah, yeah.
tightening up your skills a little. Beyond those subjects, then, let's look at the opposite end of the spectrum. Was there anything at school you really disliked in terms of subjects and learning and academics?
I really, really didn't enjoy the sciences or modern studies. Not so much history. I kind of found history interesting. I think everybody finds history quite interesting. But like I would say like modern studies or science, I really, really did not enjoy.
Modern studies is a science is definitely one that probably a lot of people might say if they're not really inclined towards that. But
Yeah.
modern studies, what's the beef with modern studies there? That's
I don't know.
unexpected.
Well, you know, obviously, I used to do a debate club and stuff like that, so that sounds a wee bit like conflicting to say that. It might have just been the department. Sorry, and then the teachers like didn't interest me. But I mean, I guess that's the whole point of this. That I think having an engaging teacher does help you enjoy the lesson
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm. It sounds awful. To this day, I still find like politics generally quite boring. I try to educate myself in it and stuff because it's really important right now. But I think it's really important to also admit when it is boring and it can be quite
Yeah.
dissociating.
Okay, okay, I understand. And you mentioned debating there. I
Yeah.
remember very well you doing debating and public speaking and all that stuff. Were there other when I joined the school that you were at, I think you were kind of already in the midst of that and you were someone who was very involved. Were there other clubs or like did you do any sports? Were there other things that you were involved in outside of, extracurricular things?
Yeah, I mean, I actually really enjoyed PE at school. Like that was
Hmm.
something I really kind of got into. I wasn't fast. Like I'm like a really awkward runner. Like my legs kick out. I look like Bambi on ice. And I really enjoyed like team sports. So I play a lot of badminton, and I still play a wee bit of badminton. But I used to kind of run the badminton club in fifth and sixth year. I really enjoyed that. I played twice a week. Otherwise, yeah, just any kind of team sports, dodgeball and stuff, I'd really get stuck into. I think I had like a really competitive nature to playing in sports, so I did enjoy that quite a bit.
Yeah. See, so you're very multi-talented, Andrew, doing all of these different things. I, I sort of knew that anyway, but I'm very impressed hearing you talk about it.
Maybe a jack
And
of all trades but master of none kind of thing.
no, you take that back. And I, I mentioned something, 5 or 10 minutes ago, and I said I would come back to it. So now is the time. It kind of fascinates me that you went on to work in the arts and study is it communication design? Is that what you called it?
Yeah, it used to be called like visual communication, so it was called like
Hmm.
Viscom, but they rebranded the course at a certain point because communication is so much more than just visuals. It
Yeah,
becomes about
yeah.
audio and other thing, touch, like all kind of senses. So yeah, um, like in a very basic term, it's like you could look at it as branding, but the
Yeah.
idea is just telling a story. I think.
Yeah. That that interests me. And you said that you like did your portfolio course at Tramway, and I know the Tramway venue really well. I'm saying this is surprising in a nice way because my memories of you at school were that you were very academic, and we've talked about that. And
Yeah,
you were good at different subjects, and you did incredibly well in English. You mentioned getting an English prize in fifth year. Well
yeah,
done.
that
Round of
was
applause for you.
that was really unexpected. That was wild. Yeah. It was a
And
joint English prize as well. I think the person I joined with wasn't as happy about it.
what wasn't as happy that they had to share it.
Yeah, I think so. I think I was surprised, and the fact that I got to share it was quite amazing. And then I think the other person probably was much more into like the kind of academic prizes part of things.
Okay. Okay. Well, all the more reason for you to enjoy it. Um, it's funny to me because I think a lot of maybe teachers, I don't know if other people that you went to school with might have expected you to go down a very academic route beyond school and go straight to uni into something quite, I don't know, law or some sort of business course or something like
Yeah,
that. And it's certainly the kind of thing that I was encouraged to do when I was a pupil at school, even though I enjoyed the arts and sort of more creative subjects. And it's sort of really nice to me. I always find it really actually quite lovely when very academic pupils go down a route that might not be expected of someone who's got really excellent grades.
yeah.
Is that, I don't know if that's something that other people have said to you or that it's something that you felt any pressure to do
Um,
at school?
the only pressure, I mean, yeah, I mean, you feel pressure from the school because the school board definitely want to push their results and their percentage of getting kids straight into uni and stuff like that. And I think they look at that. They look at stats and they want the stats. They kind of forget about the person at times.
Hmm.
The only pressure I ever felt came from myself, really.
Okay.
My dad's an artist, so that kind of idea of going and doing something creative beyond school was always an option to me, and it was always encouraged. But then it was also encouraged just to do what you want. But the pressure of me was that I didn't really know, like, because my brain works quite academically. I think of a plan and where things work out.
Hmm.
So the easier route would be to go and study something that at the end you come out with a job. And I think
Hmm.
I took a route that was kind of a more uncertain route of knowing that, oh, this might not lead to a career straight away.
Yeah. Do you feel like I'm not don't want to put any pressure on you? Are you are you happy with what you did after uni?
Yes,
After
yeah,
school, sorry.
yes, 100% yes. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I think you can look back. I think I look back and go, things aren't like quite how I imagined they'd work out, but I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it as well
Yeah.
because I met so many brilliant people when I was at the art school, and I can't comment on this because I never went to other universities, but I seem to find that there's such a range of people studying there that
Hmm.
you really get to see a wee bit of everything, and it's such a
Yeah.
multicultural place as well. So yeah,
Yeah. I really love hearing that. That makes me very happy because I relate to that a little bit. I studied English. I went to uni right after school and I studied English, but it's partly because I didn't know what the hell I was going to do, and I didn't want to go and study something really vocational, and I didn't
yeah,
want to be a lawyer, and I didn't want to be an accountant, and I didn't want to be a doctor. And I did really well at school, but my favorite subject was English, and I just thought, well, I could just go and do English for 4 more years and put off any life decisions. So it's just pretty much what I did. And
yeah,
even after I finished my degree, I didn't go straight into teaching. I took a little bit more time to try and figure out what on earth I was doing. I'm still figuring out what on earth I'm doing, but that's okay, I think. I kind of would rather it was that way than I was forced into doing a career that I really hated and I had no other way out of it as I got older. So,
yeah. I mean, I think
um,
part of maturing in life is realizing that nobody really has it figured out,
yeah,
until a certain point, until you retire, I guess, or you're able
yeah.
to retire.
Looking back on school then, and like we said, it's 8 years now, which is not a small amount of time. Are there, we've touched on this a wee bit, are there areas of learning or were there subjects at school that you now feel where I, I don't have a much nicer way of saying this other than a waste of time. Is there anything that you think, I wish we hadn't done that. Why did we spend so long on this? This was useless. Why did we bother?
Uh, I mean,
Apart
yes.
from everything.
Well, I know. There's certain things like the whole prep. I think this is the whole thing. Like, preparation to get exams doesn't necessarily teach you everything in the way of life. I think,
Yeah, of
I think I
course.
do wish they taught more kind of like practical skills at
Hmm.
school, more kind of like learning. Like, one thing I've always been really envious of is like tradespeople, people that work with a
Hmm.
trade and having like a skill, like an actual skill that they can apply to something like that is invaluable.
Yeah.
And I think that's something they didn't really teach you at school. You know, the idea was, well, you're at school to learn, so if you want to do that, you drop out and you do an apprenticeship, you know, kind of thing. Um, I'm going to be honest, I really, really, really hated. I think it was called RMPS because they had to make it a bit more wider spread, but RE for anybody that knows it is that religious education. Um, and not from like a point of view that I couldn't bother with religion was I think it's a really, really tough thing. And that's not a reason not to teach it, but I think it's a really tough thing to teach to young kids. And the way that they
Hmm.
teach it in primary school, they teach you about the religious side of things. But actually the more important thing is about the kind of moral and philosophical parts of it. But people just don't it just always became one of the classes that nobody really paid attention, nobody listened in, and that just rubs off on everyone. Everyone gets distracted, and you end up watching the Simpsons version of the Ten Commandments on the big projector screen.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe it's a subject that I agree. It in theory is important, but probably quite difficult to get teenagers
Yeah,
interested in. Maybe it's something later in life people might return to, and yes, I understand.
I just
Uh,
remember we had it on a Friday night, Friday evening, like the last class, and it just always felt like a punishment,
oh, that's
you
a
know.
toughie. Yeah.
Yeah,
Last period on a Friday. Oh dear.
yeah.
Um, I'm sure your teachers probably felt a little bit of the same.
Oh, totally. Yeah, 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 totally.
Uh, on the other hand, what do you think benefited you most about your school experience? And it doesn't have to be a thing that you learned in a class. It might be any aspect of school. Like, what do you think you feel, if anything, you feel fondly about, or you feel like was really worthwhile?
Um, Probably the extracurricular part of it, like the stuff that actually happened outside. The
Yeah.
opportunities to try a lot of new things. I think, like yeah, like I said, playing badminton twice a week was one of my favorite things. And then I started playing in competitions that I never thought I'd get to play in, and then you get to play against people that are really, really good, and then you think, oh, I could try doing that. But yeah, a lot of kind of extracurricular things. I mean, this wasn't actually done through the secondary school, but this was through primary school before I joined secondary school. But throughout my time at secondary school, I played this. But I don't know if you know about this about me, but I play lawn bowls.
I
Um,
did know that, yes.
that's like, and you know what? It was a really weird thing for me as a teenager to kind of admit to people that I played lawn bowls because it like people just think of it as an old man's kind of sport,
Yeah.
and it 100% is. Uh, but my gran kind of introduced it to me, and I like ended up playing. I still play to this day at the club in Lindsay, and I played for the under 25 league. The count. I played. I'm not under 25 anymore, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, I kind of played at really competitive level and stuff. So yeah, that was something I really enjoyed. So yeah, I would say the extracurricular stuff, the kind of people you meet in these bits that then you wouldn't necessarily cross paths with at school.
Yeah. I I did know that you did bowls. I'd sort of forgotten it before we started speaking, and it's come back to me this image of you. So yes, and was there somebody else at school who did it as well?
There was there
Um,
was there was lots of people like across the range. The club used to actually have a really good junior section. It had almost 30
Mhm.
junior members. You know, probably from the school, and now it has zero. I mean, the reason
Oh,
that's quite sad, but the reason for that, the reason is for a lot of things, was COVID just absolutely killed
mm.
any sort of involvement. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think there was anybody else in my year that off the top of my head, or if there was, they don't play anymore, kind of thing.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's a shame that it's gone away.
yeah,
It's a really unusual thing, I guess, probably for people of your age. But I love it. I think that's so fascinating. I love that you did that and still do it, which is really, really good.
yeah.
Um, Andrew, one of the most important aspects of school, or maybe not important, that's not, I shouldn't use that word. Ubiquitous aspect of lots of schools in the UK is the awards ceremony. I'm going to ask you to name a few things for me here to give an award to. Do you have a most epic teacher moment? Is there something weird or strange or funny or outrageous that a teacher ever did that has stuck with you in your mind?
in maths, there was a teacher we had that hadn't come across their teaching style before, and they would quite often just swear at the kids in the class. But it was quite it it was done in a really harmless way. Like it, they would like swear swear at the smart kids in the class and make fun of them for adding one and two together and equaling four, and they'd put it on the big board and they'd call you out on it. And I just thought that was really quite enjoyable and quite clever because I think it took a lot of pressure off a lot of other people in the class that struggled with it a wee bit. Uh,
Yeah.
and I just found it really refreshing. I felt, oh, okay, this is somebody that's not a teacher, but is somebody that's kind of a bit more of like an educator. You know, he's got a bit more passion what they do. So I found that quite funny. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very nice. I bet pupils enjoyed that, and probably by the way, every teacher was swearing in their mind a lot of the
Oh,
time,
totally.
just
Yeah.
not saying it out
Yeah. Yeah.
loud. So well done to him. What about your most random information that you've memorized? Is there a specific piece of information, a word, a fact, a statistic, something that you learned in school that maybe has no use whatsoever, but it's stuck with you all this time?
Yeah, I really like this thing I found out in music because we did like listening exams where they'd play like 20 questions and it really tricky. Like you have to listen and then you'd have to answer the questions on it. Um, but it was about how to determine whether something's considered a mass or not, as like a religious kind of song. And it was like the words that they used in it, and it's all Latin words, like Dominus and Sanctus, Kyrie. But my problem was at the time in the class we used to always just sing them really stupidly because they sing them in these really weird cadences, and I still find myself from time to time just breaking out into songs singing these stupid words that nobody else understands what they mean, and I actually don't know what they mean, and then you think like you're just saying things that have actually no sense at all. But that seems to stick with me. So if I ever hear mass, I can just go, "Oh yeah, no, that's a mass."
Excellent. What about your favorite classroom in the school? And that literally means physically a room in the school or a part of the building that you just liked being in.
Um, I mean, I probably spent the majority of my time in the art department. Really like that. One of the art department classrooms looked onto the teacher's car park, um, which was always really fun because you'd try and assign the cars to the teachers, um, which was quite cruel in some ways at times, but it was quite fun. And then you'd see a teacher get into a car and you'd be like, "Oh, I didn't expect them to get into that car." So yeah, that was quite exciting. Who rocks up in a Range Rover and stuff like that? It was, yeah, you know.
And what about our final award, best school trip? Did you ever go on a trip somewhere that you really enjoyed?
Yeah, I didn't go on many trips. I went on three, and then I went to Disneyland in second year, which was good fun because it was Disneyland. Um, but that wasn't my favorite trip. And then I was meant to be going the Battlefields trip, but because of a terrible terror attack in Paris, they cancelled that
Oh, yeah, yeah.
at the time. But my favorite one actually was in sixth year when we went to Kelvin Grove. And I'd been to Kelvin Grove 100 times, so I knew exactly what it was. But I just quite liked the concept of it. Going, yeah, find something that interests, and then sitting down and writing about it. It felt quite hands off. It didn't feel forced. But
Yeah,
I thought that was a really good kind of like local trip.
yeah. Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear it stuck with you. And I feel like, Andrew, what kind of a podcast about school would it be if we didn't have a wee test at the end? And you said you were good at this sort of thing. This is obviously a ridiculous test, so I'm gonna quiz you on some things that you may or may not remember from school. Before I do that, I'm just going to take a moment to talk about how people can follow the podcast online and keep up to date. So it would be great if you can subscribe wherever you're listening. That includes YouTube. And on YouTube, we're at A Word After School. And you can keep up to date with the podcast on Instagram. It's also at A Word After School Podcast. And it's a brand new podcast, which means it costs a wee bit of time and money to create, but sadly doesn't generate any money at this point. If you want to show some support, then you could chip in a donation of any amount. You choose. You don't have to subscribe to anything. It's not Patreon. If you visit coffee.com, that's ko-fi.com/Matthew Keeley, you can put in whatever you feel like if you're able to, and it'd be very much appreciated. If not, just share the podcast, tell other people about it, and make sure that you follow on Instagram or YouTube. Now, Andrew, it's time for our quickfire quiz. Here we go. Number 1, what is the difference between there and there? THEIR and THERE.
The first one, THEIR, applies to the person, and then THERE is the place, yeah?
Sure, yeah, that's good enough. Well done. Number 2, you said you were good at maths. What is 8 squared?
64.
Oh, very quick. Number 3, back to English. Can you spell onomatopoeia?
No. O-N-O
Yes.
M-A
Yes.
T-E-P-I-A.
You were halfway there. We got to the T and then we went a wee bit off course. I'm not even going to tell you the correct spelling. Who cares? Number 4.
As I call it, you don't know the correct spelling.
I've got it written here, so that's. But POEIA is the end. What is the most effective excuse you ever used for not doing homework, Andrew? If you ever did such a thing.
No, I was actually a bit square. I kind of did my homework usually.
This question just doesn't apply. Number 5. Can you remember a quote from any poem you ever studied in English?
Was it Carol Ann Duffy? And it was in 5th year. We did her poem. I think it's called Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
And it sticks in my head because I remember being told it was really dirty at the time. And I think she talks about their kind of relationship together. Like she fantasizes that Shakespeare's relationship with Anne Hathaway, and something about diving for pearls really kind of tickles.
Yeah. Next question. Can you tell me anything about the structure of a plant cell? Anything at all?
I don't know. They're like square. They look like bricks under a microscope.
Do you know, I don't know why I'm asking this question because I don't know anything about cells. So I'm just assuming that your confidence will convey to me that you have remembered something. So if you say it's a square and it looks like a brick, then I'll agree with that. Number 7, what is a prime number?
A number that's only divisible by itself or 1.
Oh, excellent. And lastly, number 8, did you or did you not ever fake being ill to get a day off school?
Yes. 100%, all the time. I
You
used to watch
always did
this
your
episode
homework.
of Tracy Beaker, and I'm pretty sure like they just mashed up some like tins of like carrots and other veg into a pot and pretended it to make it look like sex. So I have done that before. Oh, so blame Tracy Beaker. Yeah.
Excellent. Well done. That's the end of our quiz. That meant absolutely nothing whatsoever, but was just fun for me. Andrew, thank you so much for staying behind for a word after school. Hopefully, it's been nice to revisit some memories. Maybe a few things came back there.
Yeah, definitely.
And listeners, thank you so much for joining us. Maybe this has even sparked some memories of your own. I'll be back soon to talk to another former pupil from my previous life. Class dismissed.